In breaking news, there's been a large oil spill in Lake Simcoe as a result of a leak from a boat. We bring you live to our weather and news reporter, Michael Priscilla.
Thanks, Chandler. We're here at Lake Simcoe where there was a recent oil spill. There's been lots of talk about whether or not the city should bring in experts to apply oil dispersants. So I'm here with expert Hope LaRock, who will share her thoughts on the situation.
An oil dispersant is a mixture of solvents that helps break oil into small droplets following an oil spill. Some droplets are easier to disperse throughout a water volume, and small droplets may be more readily degraded by microbes. Do you have any other questions?
Well, with the disaster happening, the government will have to outweigh the pros and cons of oil dispersants. While these oil dispersants are very effective at the removal of oil, these dispersants are also very damaging towards the aquatic ecosystems. How exactly do these dispersants work, Hope?
Well, these dispersants also have their fair share of negatives as well. These dispersants don't exactly get rid of the oil completely, as they push the oil to the bottom of the water, which harms the organisms that feed at the ocean floor. Also, the higher the concentration of oil dispersants in water, measured in parts per million, the more likely it is for the dispersants to affect wildlife. Lastly, negative effects on particular aquatic species have been shown to be reversible at low concentrations, but the higher the concentration, the more likely that the effects will be irreversible.
Thanks for all the insight, Hope.
My pleasure, Mike.
We will now go to our water expert, Chandler McFall, to examine the effects of oil spills in water.
Freshwater bodies are much rarer than saltwater bodies. Most of the water in the world contains high enough levels of salt to prevent it from being classified as freshwater. Freshwater makes up only about 1% of all the planet's water bodies. Temperature is an important factor to consider when assessing water quality. In addition to its own effects, temperature influences several other parameters and can alter the physical and chemical properties of water. In this regard, water temperature should be accounted for when determining these factors. The first factor is compound toxicity. The second factor is dissolved oxygen and other dissolved gas concentrations. The third factor is conductivity and salinity. The fourth factor is pH, and the final factor that should be considered is the water density.
We're now going to go to our deep sea diving expert to get a sample of the water from Lake Simcoe. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to go get some water.
Thanks, Mike. I examined your water sample and it determined that there was no aquatic life in the ecosystem.
So with the dispersant's ability to clean oil from water, why wouldn't we use the dispersants? So overall, we do believe that it is a good idea to use large amounts of dispersants on oil spills because the effects of dispersants are not as bad as the effects of oil.